Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Cortez. And for this Saturday, our synchronous lesson for the subject Technology for Teaching and Learning. We are now in week number 10. Title is Intellectual Property Rights in Education. So bear with me. I can meet you real time or synchronous because we are now in educational tour of the college involving college students and my senior high school students. So that's why I'm just recording the lesson to be shared in our class today. So ayan yung ating topic, and I'm going to lay down here the learning outcomes of the topic. Define intellectual property rights, explain their relevance in education, research, creative works, and identify different types of intellectual property like those used in education like copyrights, trademark, patent, trade secret, etc. But of course, trade secret, patent, they are not usually used in education. Pero yung mga copyrights is being used in educational setup. And the legal protection, the ethical use of this intellectual property, and recognize national, international law and policies governing intellectual property in education. The background of the topic for today, it is important that we should apply copyright and fair use when you are teaching, when you are learning, for the learners, for the educators. You should know those principles, diba? When using like resources, media, online resources, digital content. Yun, ating mga focus for this lesson. Are going to develop ability to properly cite. Citation is very important in education. When we are doing research, we should cite. That is basically acknowledging the sources to avoid plagiarism, to avoid legal complications. So we should be citing, we are crediting the original authors of those materials that we are using. And important sa atin, to avoid those plagiarism, we should create our original work like research paper, term paper, dissertation, mga teaching materials natin na ginagamit, mga modules, projects, case analysis. Ayan. So, we are in a community, educational community that are respecting dapat yung mga intellectual property rights sa mga original authors. Parang pag tayo may ginawa, we are also concerned na baka may gumamit ng ating mga PowerPoint, writings, lecture, di ba? So, it is important for us, or parang consolation for us to be credited, to be recognized ng mga gumagamit. Ayan, ginagamit din natin itong mga intellectual property, example, evaluating case studies. Yan. So, may mga samples ng for example, in my case, I have experienced those ethical violations in academic writing kasi I have been writing, I have been researching, I have been sitting down in defense of thesis, dissertation. So, exposed ako dito sa sa ethical consideration, especially now when you are doing research. Aside from the research should be checked regarding grammar and statistics, dapat may correction din or monitoring sa ethical areas ng research na ating sinusulat. Ay yung ating background for this day, and these are the topics to be covered for this week number 10, intellectual property rights, copyrights and rights related to copyrights, work with copyright protection, guidelines, infringement versus plagiarism. Kasama rin dito yung yung ating guidelines in posting lesson, posting materials in the internet, and manners when using technologies. Ito yung ating mga topics for this day. Hoping that you can learn, get something from this topic, from this lesson na magagamit when you are in the teaching profession months from now. Magiging maging academician din kayo mga next year, no? Target natin for you, all of you guys. Okay, so those are the learning outcomes and the topics we covered. And after this lesson, I'm going to post naman yung activity related to this lesson number 10.
Okay, so let's move on. Ito naman yung intellectual property rights refer to exclusive rights of the creator over the use of his creation or specified period of time. The WTO customarily divides intellectual property rights into two main areas. Firstly, the copyright and rights related to copyright and industrial property. So may dalawang property, yung sulat, ginagawa, tapos yung physical mong ginagawa, mga inventions, mga invento. So, ito yung mga subject intellectual property, mga may-ari ng copyright, may-ari ng industrial property, yung on the rights. Now, pag na-violate, kasi those are exclusive rights nila. Pag na-violate, so you can be years of infringement of copyrights. Sa education, may ganun nangyayari, di ba? Example, you are copying videos, present mo na, project ng teacher, present estudyante, sariling video, he shoot the video, pero hindi sa kanya. So that is infringement of copyrights owners. So pag copyrights, that is legal violation. Pag plagiarism, that is ethical violation. Okay, so let's dive into this one. Number 1, ito yung sa copyrights. Copyright and rights related to copyrights, the term of protection. Ito mga sa Philippine context mga literary artistic work are protected by copyrights during the lifetime of the owner or author, and plus 50 years after his death, tumatakbo pa rin, cover pa rin siya ng copyright. Example, mayroong nagsulat ng kanta Freddy Aguilar. Then, kapag buhay siya, iba yung mga kanta that is copyrighted. Nung namatay siya, pagbibilang ang 50 years upon his death, hanggang doon, yung coverage ng copyright sa isang author, composers, video programs, directors, at sa mga movies, yung producer pala ang yan. Yung producer may hawak ng copyrights. Musical composition, paintings, sculptures. Ito yung mga some of the artistic and literary works protected by copyright. So mga pag ikaw yung teacher or learner and gumamit ka ng kanilang film, so you should credit them. You should credit the author. Yeah. Sabi ng I attended a seminar one time at the Ateneo. Nagtanong ko doon sa speaker, Sir, Pag meron akong pinost sa aking wall, sa video, tapos naglagay naman ako ng CTTO. Diba CTTO means credit to the rightful owner. CTTO. Naglagay naman ako sa ng CTTO. Yan ba ay ano pa yung violation? O sabi ng speaker, kahit naglagay ka ng CTTO doon sa iyong posting, still violation pa rin yan ng copyright law. Yan ang sabi ng speaker na. So kahit pala mag-ano ka, no? Kahit pag ka ng for entertainment or not intend to have copyright infringement na may note ng ganon, violation pa rin yun ng copyrights law. Okay, sila mga covered ng copyright. So let's have this one. Works with copyright. Ito yung mga works na may copyright, movies, diba? Mga composition, music, books, photography, films, yan mga paintings, yung mga works na copyrighted na may-ari. Sir, question, pag nagpa-Xerox ba, public violation? O nabasa ko na may guidance for photocopy. Hindi pala siya covered ng or intended for multiple copies na pa-photocopy tapos distributed sa mga estudyante. May guidance pa na para sa ganun. Para sa exempted from copyright. There is guideline for photocopy. Pero pag yung photocopy, pinenta mo yung profit from the photocopy. So yan ang violation mo. Pero for educational purposes, distribution yan, photocopy. Kasi ba ikaw yung may-ari ng libro, di ba? It is not practical for you anymore na habulin kung lahat nagpa-Xerox ang libro mo. Kaya accuse mo sila ng copyright, hindi mo salang practical sa'yo, di ba? Ba yung owner or author ng libro. Kasi covered na siya ng photocopy law. Okay, why copyrighted is aims to encourage and reward creative work. Under this, the rights of the performers, mga movies, actors, singers, mga musicians, composers, producers ng mga movies, on recordings are protected. Kasi nga, di ba, ikaw naman yung gumawa ng literary or artistic work, wala kang papakinabangan, so sayang naman na hindi ka properly protected under the law. So by the way, the country that is under the IPO, Intellectual Property Office by the DTI. I know that is in BGC, yung office ng IPO sa BGC Taguig. And so, number 2, ito naman yung cover ng mga physical, yung kanina mga artistic or literary works, kanta, movies. Itong number 2 naman, ito yung mga invention, for example. Ito yung mga patent, mga, by the way, copyrights, patents, trademark, ito yung mga asset. These are intangible asset naman. But example, somebody invented a gadget na ginagamit sa school, tapos is protected. He should be protected. Patents. So that is under industrial property. Hindi mo sa pwedeng copying. Example, somebody invented a board, a whiteboard, na ginagamit sa ating classroom. Marami kasi minsan natin, di ba, pag nagbura ka ng board, kalimutan mong i-save, di ba? Sana may board, may whiteboard na nag-auto-save siya. Nakasulat doon, nag-auto-save. Para kahit burahin mo siya, di ba? Kasi di ba mga teachers ngayon nakalagay sa board, save. Sabihin mo kung buburahin. Kaya paano pag accidentally nabura, di ba? If somebody can invent a board na nag-auto-save siya, nakasulat na nag-auto-save, example, last 1 month, nakasave doon. Pag ikaw naka-inventa niyan, you should have that patented sa IPO natin. Yan, that is industry. Sir, sinong muna magpapatent? Tapos 2 tao, no? Nag-invento ng board na gano'n, na ginagamit sa ginagamit sa class. So, who will be the first one? Example, si A, na-invento ngayong araw na to, June 17. Hindi niya pinapatent. Tapos si B, na-invento, the same thing. June 18. Isa kasi, pumunta ka agad ng IPO, pinaregister. So, yun ang may-ari ng patent. Siyempre si B. Kasi kung sino daw yung unang nagpa-register sa IPO, siya may patent para sa gadget. Hindi yung unang naka-invento, kung sino ang unang pumunta sa IPO, siya yung magmamayari ng patent under the industrial property. And so, ito trademark, no? If you have a brands that's protected by trademark, graphical indication, invento ka naman gano'n, no? So, trademark or patented. Okay, so be aware mga educators or learners, be aware of those. Number 2, industrial property, and number 1, literary works are protected. Okay, so the use of internet pati without proper citation. So there is copyright infringement. So let's discuss pinagkaiba ng dalawa. Copyright. Kasi ito yung mga madalas nating gagawin or ma-encounter sa classroom. Infringement. Kasi hindi porke nakalagay sa internet ay free, ay hindi sa pa rin, protekto pa rin sa ng copyright. Diba nakalagay doon? Kasi kahit nga sa mga video editing tools natin, ay mga music na pwede mong gamitin. Kapag in-upload mo sa internet, may copyrighted pala siya. So yung kita dun sa video mo, hati. Kita para sa'yo, tapos kita dun sa creator ng music. So kahit pinapagamit sa'yo, kasabihin na hindi sa copyrighted. Kasi with that, books have copyright. Ganun ang mga internet or printed materials na published in the internet. They are also protected by specific copyright. So, sabihin, the readers are prohibited or kung sino may access sa mga resource na yan from plagiarizing the content. So, parang sa physical world din, di ba, na yung libro nakita mo physically, copyrighted yan. Ganun sa internet, pag may nakita ng e-books, that is also protected under copyright law. So, hindi ka nag-citation, unethical, that is committed plagiarism. Plagiarism is a crime of unethical practices. Okay, so below are the guidelines on online use of copyrighted materials. So, kung naka-display sa internet daw, copyrighted unless may nakalagay na hindi sa copyrighted. Okay? So even if it does not display, kahit walang mga copyright symbol na nakalagay, that is still copyrighted. So number 2, copyright laws cover an email for its originality. One cannot just use it or share mga emails natin. It is not recommended that you should not. It is not recommended to forward an email na nanggaling. Saan mo nag-email sa'yo? From, yung pala is, it is intended only for you as a recipient of the email. So hindi dapat kasi forward without permission doon sa nagpadala sa'yo. So you should asking them, can I forward this email to my colleague? Pag affirmative, so okay lang. Pero pag walang it is unethical to forward an email. Di ba tayo basta-basta nagpo-forward ng mga email sa mga mga kilala natin kasi if that is intended para sa'yo lang. Ayan. Number 3, making copies of articles from a newspaper's website and distributing them to your students before the class discussion on the topic is permissible. Kasi nasabi ko kanina at photocopying guidelines permit making multiple copies for classroom use only. Ayan. So, specific, no? Nag-photocopy ng libro, nag-photocopy ng internet website, gagamitin sa 40 copies, gagamitin sa classroom. Permissible. Ang hindi permissible yung nag-photocopy tapos ibenta mo siya. Tapos hindi sa for classroom use. The violation na sa ng copyright. So be responsible enough, no? Mga teacher, be responsible enough sa pag-distribute mga ganitong mga At pag nag-photocopy ka, we should always mention the sources. So we should credit yung may-ari ng resources. Okay, and or you cannot post students' essays, poems, or other works on the school website. Ito pala, ethical, no? Yung kanilang mga gawa, we should not always post them sa website ng school, bulletin boards, unless you have permission. So I can recall, no? Yung pala, nadaanan to. Kasi one time, may mga sa isang what is the subject? Art appreciation app. So the teacher asked the students to draw. Paint sila. Siyempre, sarili ang gawa niyo, di ba? Tapos, display ng teacher sa lobby ng school. So, I'm thinking now, kung nagpaalam naman sa mga student, pwede palang i-post, pwede palang i-display sa lobby ng school ng mga gawa ng mga estudyante. So pag hindi, I'm thinking, pag hindi pala nagpaalam dun sa mga estudyante na i-display ka ng mga paintings sa lobby ng school, sa bulletin board, sa website, sa newspaper ng school, ano pala siya, that is unethical pala. Even if hindi pa sila copyrighted, pero unethical pala siya. So we should always ask permission pala, no, sa mga may-ari. Kahit sila mga estudyante natin na under our authority, we should always ask permission pa rin sa kanila. Educators should threat copyrighted materials from the internet the same way as they do sa print version. So print version is the same with the soft copy version. Pareho silang copyrighted. So pareho magpapaalam dun sa author. Kahit yan ay online ang sources natin. Paalam sa author. Ito na ko minsan kasi may nakita ko minsan napakagandang article na authored by a professor from PLM yata, no? Basta in downtown Manila. So napakagandang article. I want to share the article sa mga students ko. Nakalagay naman yung email ng faculty or ng author. So I emailed in. Wala lang, papapaalam mo sa kanya, not expecting that he will answer back right away. But on the same hour, nag-reply siya, giving me the authority to use the materials, to photocopy the materials, no, and to be distributed sa aking mga estudyante. So the important thing, we give credit sa may-ari or sa author ng isang resources. Okay, so plagiarism versus copyrights. So we talk about plagiarism. Plagiarism is an ethical violation while copyright is about legal violation. So take note that plagiarism and copyright infringement are related ideas kasi pareho silang sa mga literary works, books, songs. But they are different. Kasi ang plagiarism, an act of fraud involving both stealing someone else's work and lying about it afterward. Inaako mo yung gawa, hindi mo bananggit yung author, hindi ka nag-footnote, hindi ka nag-citation. So that is plagiarism. So yun guys, no? Copyright infringement versus plagiarism. Plagiarism, copying someone's work without citation, and you lie about the sources. Example, inapo mo yung literary works or books na hindi pala ikaw yung nagsulat. Okay, next one, plagiarism. Ito yung mga things about plagiarism. We differentiate plagiarism from copyright. According to Bilbao et al. 2019, we cited the following as plagiarism. Example, making someone else's work as your own. Inako mo yung books, idea, or articles, and you did not credit, you did not cite the owner, di ba? Basically, pag nag-cite tayo, we write the surname of the author and the year of publication. And pag meron siyang direct quotation, ginamit mo sa iyong writings and without putting the quotation mark, so plagiarism. And also citing incorrect information about the sources. Altering words is also form of plagiarism. Altering words but retaining the sentence structure of a source without giving credit. So kahit yung buong sentence daw ay kinopya mo at may pinalitan na kayo isang word lang and you did not cite the author, that is still plagiarism. Using so many words or ideas from a sources that it makes up the majority. Itong sinasabi nating yung buong article ay kinopya mo in your own paragraph without paraphrasing or rephrasing. So, plagiarism. Whereas, copyrights are the following. Example, using media from other websites and paste them on your papers, that is, or website, that is copyrights violation or copyright infringement. Creating a video using footage from others' video. So you will notice na ikaw ay nag-post ng video sa iyong wall sa Facebook, hindi ka i-monetize kasi that is copyrighted materials, or is your Facebook will remove the video, hindi na i-play pag copyrighted material. Example, may nakita kang video from a TV network, ABS-CBN for example, tapos kinat mo yung portion, tapos pinost mo, copyrighted. Ano siya? Or playing another person's copyrighted music into a performance, di ka nagpaalam, copyrighted. Creating a piece of music that borrows heavily from another composition. Yan. So you should be paying, magpapaalam ka, and you will pay royalty. For example, dun sa example, isang kantang ginamit mo sa iyong music video, magpapaalam ka. Anyway, mayroon namang mga open sources ng music, diba, na pinapayagin paggamit sa atin. Ito yung mga hindi copyrighted na mga music or audio na ginagamit natin sa ating mga videos. Okay, and meron tayong tinatawag na digital tattooing. Ibig sabihin, pag meron kang ginawa or pinost online, forever nasa online yan. Kahit yan ay tanggalin mo, delete mo yan, para siyang tattoo, di ba? Pag nagpatattoo ka, that is permanent. Ibig sabihin, pag di ka nag-post online ng example music photo mo online na and later on you will remove yung posting mo, nandun na siya. Hindi na siya matatanggal doon. Although dinilit mo, pero meron ka ng footprint online. Why? Kasi nga may nag-screenshot na, may nag-download. So hindi mo na mahahabol mga yun. So all users, we should learn from this one. We should be responsible enough in posting. We should think twice before posting something on our social media account. Kasi mahirap na siyang i-remove. Now we're going to talk about those things na 5 things to ask before posting. So let's sum this one. First one, intindihin natin. What do I like? What do I look like? Pag nag-post ka, example, photo, or anything, or music, or joke, isipin natin, no? Always remember that the way you look like in real person, in real world, pwede siyang iba. Intention mo is to look good in the internet, para pag post ka, iba yung kinalaban. Kasi minsan, yung perception mo na photo mo or face mo sa social media, may inisip kong maganda, di ba? Hindi dapat ang mukha mo, pero minsan iba yung kinalalabasan. Yan. How you look like may not always be the way others see it. So, akala mo para sa'yo, napakaganda na yung posting, sample jokes, or photo or video, para sa'yo maganda, di ba? But, in another person's perspective, pwedeng siya, iba siya. Okay, pangalawa, you should be wary of, is this ink permanent? Pag nagpatattoo ka, yung ink permanent. Diba? So you should be aware na pag may pinost ka, that is permanent. Anything you share in the internet is permanent. That is beyond your control. Di mo na sa pwedeng baguhin. Kahit even if you will delete your posting, you can never tell how many persons have screenshot or downloaded mga sinira mo sa social media. Kasi it is always easy for other people to share for us. It is always easy for us to share. Pero natin alam the consequence of posting. So think twice before posting something in the internet or social media account. Okay, the third one, am I giving away too much? Masyado bang marami ang ang pinost mo? Baka naman lahat ng info ay nandoon na to the point na pwedeng kopyahin yung personality, yung birthday mo, signature mo, nandun doon, birthday addresses, and somebody can now clone, for example, a credit card. So keep your identity as private as you could. Bawas ka naman ang pwede mong i-share sa internet. Don't reveal too much of your personal info. Credit card number, naka-reveal ito. Social security number, naka-reveal. Kasi pwede mo siyang gamitin. Those data can be used against you, or those data can put you down. Can destroy, no? Can destroy the owner ng mga data na yan. Okay, so the fourth one, this thing is the last one. What I want is share about me. So meron kang gustong info, so gusto mo bang i-share yan? So think twice before you share something that involves other people. Pag solo ka lang, okay lang ina. Example, photo. Pag may kasama ka minsan, and example, hindi masyadong pleasant yung photo, so you should be asking permission. Na okay na bang i-share to sa social media? Example, nag-shoot ka ng video, okay lang ba na, and example, prank, no? Prank yung video na sinut mo. Siyempre, that is embarrassing for the other person. So you should be asking him, is it okay to share this one? At the aking prank video, is it okay to share sa social media? So you should be asking, permission. So the magic here is always ask permission from them if you are going to share, for example, a funny picture, a funny photo, a funny video ng taong subject. You might not know how they feel when rude comments. Kasi sabi natin kanina, ink is permanent. So permanent yung mga posting mo. Example, embarrassing situation ng isang kaibigan. Pinost mo internet, no? So forever, nandiyan na yan. The sad thing is, you will not be the subject of embarrassment, comments, funny comments, diba, ridicule. So, can imagine, yung mga dami ng taong nakapanood. At ganoon din yung dami ng taong will ridicule the person on your photo or video. Kaya mas mapagiging mga students or mga learners yung subject ng ating in-upload. Okay. Know your manners when using technology. So we have etiquette personally. In real world, we have etiquette. In online, we have this what we call the netiquette. The poor netiquette can stick around to disturb you much longer if not forever, because the rule books of etiquette are just as vital in cyberspace. So hindi lang applicable sa personal, real life, physical world ang etiquette. According to Hart in 2020, meron ding etiquette sa cyberspace. The same thing as they are in real world or physical world. Now, Hardy in 2020 suggested 10 basic rules of etiquette to avoid damaging your online and offline relationships. So, mayroong mga relationship na nasira because of student to student, classmate to classmate. Diba? We have those online, offline relationship damage because of not practicing etiquette. So, we're going to talk about those 10 basic rules na pwede nating gamitin sa ating mga classrooms to be given sa ating mga learners or students. Okay, so let's dive into this one. First one, make real people a priority. Kung may kausap ka, you treat the person, as human. Kasi nga, the most irritating situation, pag meron kang kausap, or ikaw yung kausap ng isang tao, the most irritating situation is when during your conversation, yung kausap may hawak siyang cellphone or gadget. Tapos palagi siya nakatingin sa gadget, kinakausap mo hindi sa isn't making eye-to-eye contact. We should remember the rule in the face-to-face communication, that we have to look at people directly on the eyes of the people when you are communicating with. If you are with people and your phone rings, so kaya nga pag may kausap, di ba, in example meetings, classroom, the teacher should always tell the class to turn off yung mga gadget. Kasi nga, sometimes absent-mindedly, sinasagot natin mga cellphones. Right? Or that you cannot accept a call at the moment. Kasi meron kang kausap. Or if you want to answer your call, example, that is emergency and that is really unavoidable, don't answer the phone in front of the person you are talking to or in front of the class. Just permission to go outside. Ask the caller to call back later. Okay, number 2, etiquette. Use respectful language when you are talking. What's our Watch out for foul languages. Be respectful at all times. Not just what you say, but also how you say it. Yung intonation, no? Intonation ng mga voice natin. Either take the trouble to use the shifty for capital letters. Example, if you are typing an email, no? Be wary of using the capital letters. Kasi nga, di ba, if you're writing, if you're using the capital letter, it is equivalent to as if you are yelling or shouting pag nagka-caps lock. Yung isa isang school ko, no, mayroong rule doon na pag ikaw nagpadala ng email, aside from the fact that you should answer the email, respond to email right away, you should not be using all caps. Kasi nga, that is equivalent to shouting doon sa mga kausap. Okay? So, it will be pleasant if you say please and thank you sa lahat ng mga correspondence natin if you are writing emails. Yan, so always use the word thank you and please as a sign of an educated person. Kahit yan ay personal, in real life, no? Or using the thank you and please na mga wordings. Okay, so let's have number 3. Share with discretion. Always be on guard in sharing something. Maybe you are sharing unpleasant materials, drug picture example, dito. Embarrassing photo of a colleague, of a friend, na shared mo siya online. Ano pa, mga drunk pictures, drunk pictures ng classmates, or sexy pictures ng classmates, or unedited home video, in-upload mo. So you should be, that is under your discretion to share something. Example, nasabi nila, pag yung nag-shoot ng video, it is okay na you upload the video, raw video. Example, nag-shoot ka ng lesson. Raw video is okay, pero mga raw video na unedited, na may classmates na nakuhaan, naked or sexy or drunk, out of his drunkenness, nakuhaan sa ng video, mga dapat ina-edit, no? Kasi may mga videos na dapat na magandang i-share na raw, may mga video naman that cannot be shared as raw videos. Dapat ina-edit daw natin yon. Ano pa, pwede sa mag-apply sa mga sa mga employees or classmates. Ayan, mga example, nag-party sa school. So dapat ina-edit. May private doon na not for online sharing. Okay, and the fourth one, don't exclude others person. Be careful with online jokes. Which means nag-post ka, di ba, sa online, tapos may nag-comment, yung comment niya inside jokes nyo, kayo lang nakakaalam. It is okay if the joke is kayong dalawa lang. Pero pag pinost online, nag-comment, sometimes hinahide ko yun eh. Nag-comment, example, I posted pictures of my students, no, from one school. Then nag-comment yung ibang mga kaibigan mo. Yung comment, okay yun pag kayo lang, di ba? Pero pag nag-comment siya in public, yun hinahide ko yung mga ganong comment eh. So those should be kept in private. Don't embarrass the person in a bigger group with your obscure comments or jokes. The same thing is true with texted or email jokes. The best way not to hurt somebody else is by not sharing that joke at all. You can keep those jokes inside your inner circle lang ng mga ng friends. Kapag naka-public siya, masyadong maganda. Especially mga students yung mga involved dyan. Okay, so let's have the number 5. Respond to emails promptly. If you have given your email to somebody, ibig sabihin yan, you want to accept emails from them. Tapos hindi mo sinasagot mga emails, no? Kasi the first thing in the morning to do, no, is to respond to emails. Be careful with sending a friend request. Be sure you know the person whom you want to be friends. Yan. If you don't want to be in touch with someone else, don't add them kasi pag inad mo sila, ibig sabihin, you want to accept messages from them, emails from them. Okay, so the sixth one, choose friends wisely. Hindi lahat, paramihan ng friends nasa ano. Kasi remember, when worst comes to worst, it is insulting to be dripped from someone else's friend list. Add ka ng add ng friend, di ba? And that friend does not want to be a friend with you. Then later on, idadrop pa niya sa kanyang friend list. Kaya naman na ikaw ay in-unfriend ng mga kaibigan mo. Okay, next one. Don't email large files. Kasi nga, pag nag-send ka ng isang large file, you are consuming yung, what you call this one? Yung space. Yung Google Drive space ng recipient. So you can just send a link sa kanila. Don't attach it on email to avoid crashing their server or depleting their inbox. Ayan. Kung masyadong marami sa mga junk mails, no? Pinapadala mo sa kanila, hindi masyado important, then you are sending this to your mga kaibigan mo. Wala masyadong marami. Parang the same thing that you want. You also don't want to receive emails, large emails in bulk from other person hindi mo kilala. Okay, respect people's privacy. 7 tayo, no? So, avoid sharing the information sent to you without. Meron tayong pag we are sending emails, information, meron tayong CC or BCC. CC carbon copy, BCC blind carbon copy. Kasi if you want to send an email to somebody, so you should also be discreet na that's the recipient. The recipient also doesn't want to know. The recipient does not also want that other persons will know na nakareceive siya ng email. Di ba minsan, pinadala ka, tapos ayokong malaman ng iba na nakatanggap din ako. Diba? So dapat BCC ang gagamitin mo, blind carbon copy. No? Now, ang default is the CC, di ba? Pag sinabing CC, lahat ng recipient nakikita kung sino nakatanggap ng emails. But if one person doesn't want to know i-honest na nakatanggap din siya, so BCC ang ginagamit natin. So we should be using CC and BCC in sending email. Kasi nga, because of privacy, diba? One time nga sa isang university, may isang estudyanteng sir, ba't mo pinost yung result ng aming grade pala, he does not, sa president ng organization, tapos yung kanyang score ay mababa. So parang nahiya siya na malaman ng ibang mga classmates na yung kanyang score mababa. So mula noon ginagamit ko yung kanyang student number. At least hindi nila alam kung sino yung yun. Nakakaalam yung tao lang na ay student number. So pwedeng gawin student number ang o kaya email address. Pag hindi available yung kanyang student number, email address. Gamitin yung posting the score, the results of exams or quizzes. Alright, so this one, number 8, important. Checking before reposting. Kasi there is a tendency for us na sobrang ganda yung post na nakita mo sa internet. Tapos nire-repost natin. Pala hindi sa masyadong totoo. Naranasan ko to ng somebody, a celebrity, kinukwento ko kanina, no? A celebrity died, then I was too overwhelmed na I should be posting this one. Then pinost ko siya, yung pala hindi totoong patay na yung celebrity. Right away, I remove my post. Dapat mag-fact checking before. Kasi may mga fake news, di ba? So, sometimes, pag may balita, ang una kong pinupuntahan yung mga credible na websites. Example, Rappler, ABCBN. Before, pag na-check ko na doon, Yun, so pinopost ko. O one time din tulad ng may laban ng boxing. Boxing yata ng isang famous Filipino boxer, Donaire. Tapos ng Japanese, no? May nag-post, panalo si Donaire. So pinost ko rin. Congratulations to Donaire. Palang totoo, talo pala si Nonito Donaire. So, kaya tuloy ako, no? So, fact-checking before reposting somebody's post. Okay, the last one. Update online information mo sa mga website mo. Dapat updated yan. So, mayroon kang, if you have link in account, you should always update. Keep your website up to date. It is a way of making people aware of your availability. Kasi mamaya, di ba, nag-post ka ng personal posting that you are available working to work. Tapos yung pala, hindi mo siya na-update. Tapos may tumawag sa'yo. Kaya pag-report ko for interview pala, hindi na pala na-updated yung posting mo. Okay, those are the things that we should be checking before posting something on the internet. So I know that is the last slide for the day. I would like to credit the following websites ang ginamit sa presentation na to, and hoping that you got something, guys, for this presentation. Once again, this is Dr. Cortez, Doc Rich. Thank you for listening, and mga students ko, thank you, and nice to have you in my class once again, everyone.